Tim Tebow will be called up in September for the New York Mets. And if he's not, every single person in that organization should be fired and left out on the street with a cardboard sign saying, need job. Tim Tebow, fun fact, is doing far better in minor league baseball than anyone ever thought he would. Tim Tebow, in his last 16 games, is batting .327 with 3 home runs and 16 RBIs, and he got called up. He went to better competition. And he's hitting that well. I've said on multiple occasions, you can be bad and good. You can be bad and exciting. You can be good and boring. You cannot be bad and boring. I will repeat that until the day that I leave this earth. The Mets are 40-47. They're 12 games out. They're bad and they're boring. No one is watching the Mets. No one cares what they're doing. And this is a team that was in the World Series 2 years ago. And they've fallen all the way off to irrelevant double-digit games out and no one watching. How do you get people to watch? Take it from a former Broncos fan who, at one point, Denver was almost unbearable to watch. Insert Tim Tebow. You sell tickets. People are going to watch. People are going to be excited. Now, Sandy Alderson said, no. We're not calling him up this season. He's doing well, but we're just not doing it. A lot of people say no. It's really easy to say no when you're in a good situation, right? Like, why do we have auto loans? You know, if you look at an auto loan, you're going to say no, or title loan, I'm sorry, not an auto loan, title loan. You're going to say, no, it's stupid. I would never do that. Until rent's due in a week and you're $2,000 in debt. Then you're going to go get that title loan, which is absurd interest. You lose the rights to your car and a whole bunch of other things that just you don't want to deal with. But you're desperate. The more and more the Mets struggle, and if they go on a losing streak, like a 9-10 game losing streak, and they're 14-15 games below 500 heading into September, you start to turn to desperate. And Tim Tebow will help with desperation. Baseball, we love September call-ups. As baseball fans, it's, even if your team is bad, hey, look, I get to see this potential hopeful player or players. And that's what we want sometimes as fans. If your team's bad, you usually understand, hey, my team's bad, they're not going anywhere. But you want hope. No one wants to be the team that is, no one wants to be a Nets fan right now. Like, you have no good players. You just got D'Angelo Russell, but you have no good players. You have no draft picks. You have no hope for like the next 3 or 4 years. Like, you're going to those games just to see the other team. No one wants that. Tim Tebow brings hope. As a September call-up, he's not going to hurt your season. You're already out of it. You're already bad. Think of what Gary Sanchez did for the Yankees last year. Gary Sanchez came up in September, he came up before September, but it was a late season call-up, hit 21 home runs, and gave Yankee fans all kinds of hope. Like, oh my gosh, we have this great slugger on our team. He's going to lead us next year. It's fantastic. Now, little did they know his name was just Aaron Judge, not Gary Sanchez. But Gary Sanchez provided hype. He provided excitement. When him and Judge both came up last year, they became the first players to ever homer on their first plate appearance back to back. That's hope. That's excitement. That's what we want as fans. I live in San Diego. Charger fans, Joey Bosa, despite holding out, despite the negative press it was receiving, he was hope. He was excitement. They couldn't wait for him to get on the field. Think about what James Loney did for Dodgers fans almost a decade ago. Hit 11 home runs getting called up in September. James Loney he's hit 11 home runs in a full season like twice since then. You want hope, you want excitement. Tim Tebow delivers on both of those. Plus, you get to completely justify it if you're Sandy Alderson. Whereas if Tebow was batting 159 in minor league baseball and you called him up, then people are going to go at you and say, oh, it's just a publicity stunt. You get to even fire back now with he's hitting 327, he's been called up, and he's continuing to produce. That's a win-win. How do you lose in this situation? Oh, I know. You keep doing what you're doing, which is already losing. Another note. If Tim Tebow comes up and has any kind of success in Major League Baseball, and I mean, say he comes up, he stays with the Mets, he hits 5 or 6 home runs in September, hits 260, 270, right? If he goes and he gets to stay on the team and he's in this starting lineup next year, and say he has 18 to 20 home runs, bats 240, 250, plays decent right field, you're going to have to put Tim Tebow, as much as you guys may hate it, as one of the greatest two-way sports stars of all time. Bo Jackson's probably everybody's number 1. Deion Sanders is probably number 2. Who's number 3? You're going to have to put Tim in that conversation. If he gets an 18 to 20 home run season in Major League Baseball and has won a playoff game in the NFL, had a 300-yard passing game in the playoffs, led his team 7-1 or 7-2 or 6-2, I don't remember the exact record right now with the Denver, turned that entire season around to where they were heading towards another miserable 5-6 win season, took them to the playoffs? Playoffs? You're going to have to put Tim Tebow in that greatest two-way sports star conversation. Like it or hate it. Love it or hate it.